Alright, sorry if this video is a little late, and I guess I'm a little late to the topic, but it doesn't feel like I am, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure this topic was, the most talked about thing in the underground like a week ago, but now it's not because shit, fades very quickly. But this is pretty much the aftermath of the whole situation so far, and I have a couple opinions about it. Who knows? Maybe you'll agree with me in this video. Maybe you won't. But today we're going to be talking about Wifiskeleton, a person that was wholesome and a little bit flawed. And what do I mean by flawed is, well, I'm not going to say he's the most perfect person in the room. He had allegations to his name, which I think he proved him wrong, and I can show you like clips or whatever. Not only that, he just had a trouble background with drugs and stuff, but before Wifiskeleton became Wifiskeleton, he used to be known as, I guess, Cyrus, which really shocked me that he used to be a YouTuber I used to watch when I was around his age. I mean, me and him have not the same birthday, but we're the same age. Like, he died at 21, I'm pretty much 21. And when he was 15 to 16 getting all these subs and hitting good goals and shit in life, I was watching this kind of commentary. And his videos were hella entertaining. I mean, content like that back in the day was hella entertaining, man. But we're going to get into, the breakdown of all this. So, I guess Cyrus, got outed as a PDF file, allegedly. And then it felt like he kind of just disappeared face off the internet. And then I guess a couple years later, when the Jade situation was going down that I made a video about, there's also a video of Jade's hanging out with a person. And this person looked mysterious, and I guess his name was Wifiskeleton. He was tagged in every fucking post with Jade's because I was like his best man, I guess, by the because they're hanging out a lot. So I go to the Instagram post. I click on Wifiskeleton, and at the time, I ain't gonna lie with you. I ain't gonna front. This is the only thing that I know about him is he used to hang around with Jades. Like, I didn't personally listen to him. I just discovered him through Jade's because when I was doing my Jade's video, I was looking at Jade's account and looking at other accounts that are in a circle, and came across Wifiskeleton that way. And he was he was small when I first saw him. He had like 6,000 to 7,000 followers. I mean, when the Jade stuff was happening, his follower account boosted up to 6,000 to 7,000 to 8,000, which I thought was crazy at the time. But yeah, that's how I discovered Wifiskeleton. But after his death, I ain't gonna lie, I listened to a couple of his tracks, and let's just say those were probably the most inspiring tracks I can ever listen to this date. I might sound like a fucking glazer and all that stuff here, but I'm just being honest with my opinion and where it stands. And it's not only that, when I did read this person was Cyrus, I'm surprised nobody really outed the dude. You know what I mean? Because Cyrus, the YouTuber, was outed heavily by every YouTuber, every fucking fan or supporter imaginable, right? But as Wifiskeleton and everything, he's not hated and he's loved and everyone fucking loves him. Like, it's crazy. It feels like Wifiskeleton was like his second chance at life or a career in this space, in the internet. And people accepted who Wifiskeleton was. But yeah, supposedly Wifiskeleton was a, not to be mean, but was an addict of some sort, a drug addict. His friends said on Instagram how he pops pills, sips lean, and, well, turns out that led to his death. And this situation, when it was happening, it popped off, man. I'm not kidding. His Instagram and Spotify, there's screenshots. And to me, it's kind of disgusting in a way. Not that he's blown up and getting the recognition that he needs or has. It's just disgusting because this guy was so small and stuff like that. He had 3,000 people, bro, listening to him. But as soon as he died, You know what I mean? His one track, It's Too Late, I'm Already Dead, right? Hits everyone's For You pages, and people are now just discovering the dude, you know? And now they, like, they blew up his Spotify from 3,000 followers to fucking, or not 3,000 followers, 3,000 listeners to, I think 2 million, 3 million. Which, again, it's just crazy and a little bit, like, it's a little bit poetic as well at the end, at the end of the day here, because of his track and all that stuff, but I wish he got the recognition when he was alive, you know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna lie, I listened to Lil Peep when I was 13, turning 14, and I listened to the dude when he was alive. I listened to him when he dropped Awful Things, right? And then I remember when I turned, 14, which was September 27th of 2017, right? Next fucking month on November, well, everyone knows that Lil Peep overdosed, and then his career fucking skyrocketed, man, out of nowhere. Like, he's getting all this recognition, all this shit. People supposedly miss him. People really don't give a fuck until you're gone. And to me, it's a little gross, but at the same time, I guess it's a little poetic and beautiful, I guess. And that's where I kind of stand on that. I don't know. Like many other people's opinion are generally like, oh, well, I just discovered him because he's dead and all that stuff. And that's the problem, man, because, you know, his name is getting big now and all that stuff because he's passed away. But at the same time, I'm glad that he's given the recognition and people accept Wifiskeleton for Wifiskeleton and not for Cyrus. And to be honest, I did watch this video after he died because I was curious, because people were also saying on TikTok, wasn't this guy a fucking groomer or some shit, right? So I did the research myself, my 15 seconds of research, and so far, there is a video that Cyrus made on like an old account saying how he's innocent and all that stuff. And honestly, it makes sense, to be honest with you. His story adds up, and it's not the first time he mentioned this at all. I mean, you can question the victims on their side, but I ain't gonna fucking lie with you. He provides good stuff, or, you know, he just makes sense with his response. You know what I mean? Like how the girls are switching up the story and how, you know what I mean, men's reputation can get destroyed by fucking allegations. And the sad thing is this, if you ever watch Cyrus, he was a kid, man. A literal fucking kid. And out of nowhere, he got outed as this, and people think he's that now. And I ain't gonna lie, I believe that he had false allegations to his fucking name. I really do. And to me, that's the most disgusting fucking thing you can ever do. But Zane Peep, you also outed, you know, this guy, and you also outed fucking Jades and all that. So you also called out Jades for possibly being an alleged predator and all that stuff. Well, Jade's reputation right now is in the fucking garbage. I mean, he's manic, for one. For two, he's just not mentally well. And I still got a feeling that he 50% fucking did it, right? But the other 50% is like, maybe something, like, who knows? Maybe something isn't right here. You know what I mean? But we're just going to see what the courts decide on it. Because when he was out on house arrest or whatever, he was supposed to live at his parents' house for a year or two until the court date or whatever. But he decided to go to New York or whatever. I'm talking about Jades, by the way. He went to New York and got arrested. Again, so honestly, I'm not surprised due to his mental health and possibly his shitty actions. And people did call out Jades. I mean, the only reason why Jades didn't get that much into like trouble into this shit, because Jades was 17 turning 18. But I still find it fucking weird that as he's turning 18, he's gonna DM a fucking 14 and 16-year-old to do like a sneaky link real quick before he turns 18. I think that's still fucking weird. Like, it's not really fucking predatory. I mean, it could be predatory, like early stages of that shit. But at the same time, it's like, it's fucking weird. He's fucking weird. But besides Jades, Wifiskeleton, man, RIP. And I'm going to give in my 2 cents where it's due. And this is where a lot of people, I believe, are going to click off this video or give me a nasty fucking comment. But if you actually digged in, when it did happen in the aftermath of everything, it kind of made sense, and it's kind of shit to this day. But the YouTuber Twomad, this situation, the Wifiskeleton situation, when it has to come to false accusations and stuff, makes me think about the Twomad situation. But Zane Peep, Twomad was generally a piece of shit and did the awful things he said, and Jameski came out in a twit longer that he did these things and all that stuff. Well, here's the thing, man. When you are a YouTuber or a person with somewhat of power and you decide to throw accusations at a person's name and stuff like that without any proof whatsoever and all that stuff, I mean, I'm kind of beating around the bush here because it's like a lot of you are going to be like, didn't you do that with a particular video? Well, the reason why I don't mention his name because I'm not trying to get fucking sued because he wanted to press legal action and all that stuff. So I'm not going to say his name, but I might create a video on him again because I have way more proof than I have now. Not of him allegedly being a predator, but him being more of a piece of shit and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and he tried taking down my YouTube channel. But yeah, like, hey, Zane Peep, did he call this guy out without any proof? Well, I tried providing, like, you know, screenshots that adds up to my original accusation against this guy. And it's not only that, when I did call him out, dude's freaking the fuck out. And I get it. It's accusations, man. Like, shit like that is damaging and all that stuff. But at the same time, my story still stands where it stands, and I'm not going to repeat the story because, again, just not trying to get sued over dumb shit. And you probably know who I'm referring to. But besides that, the situation, again, reminds me of Twomad and his false accusations, and it just sucks. Well, what do you mean the Twomad situation was a little bit false? Well, the thing is this. You're dealing with someone that bought $30,000 worth of ketamine and took it all in 1 year. That was pretty much Twomad. Not only that, he made a poor fucking joke on Twitter being the edgy, controversial person he is. And after that, a girl named Goldie Bell decided to, you know, throw some accusations in his name. And accusations that are damaging. But at the same time, many people questioned her, you know, because the Quiet situation and the Pyro situation happened to the point where it's like, okay, this is very questionable. But her story changed a couple of times. And, yeah. And it's not only that, I didn't know about Twomad's fucking drug habits and all that stuff. So generally, when I was looking at this guy through camera or whatever, the way, like his poor response videos to his fucking allegations, right? I was like, this dude is a piece of shit. Like, this guy is guilty, man. And the aftermath of his situation, when Twomad overdosed on ketamine and all that stuff, the internet celebrated this guy's death because they believed in Jameski's fucking false accusations and all that stuff. And if you don't know history behind Twomad and Jameski, Jameski just fucking hates Twomad. Seriously. And it's not only that, there's a re-uploaded video of, you know, Twomad calling out Jameski for faking his accent and claiming he's this when he's Russian. And it's funny because Jameski fucking did like a whole twit longer of how he's not Russian, how Twomad threatened him or some bullshit. And Twomad proved him wrong and all that stuff. This was back in like 2019 or maybe 2020. But given the situation, Twomad is dead. He overdosed through ketamine, and he got Jameski throwing these allegations towards him. Crazy accusations. Like, you know, him being a predator, a possible rapist, and all that stuff. And he did provide a Google Doc of everything. But if you watched the Turkey Tom video, where he breaks down everything in Twomad's life, even to the end of it, and all that stuff, Jameski is a very questionable person, and I like to believe that he fabricated a lot of shit in there. Is it possible that Twomad was a piece of shit towards his ex-girlfriend or whatever the fuck was going on there? Yes, I believe so. I really believe he was sort of a piece of shit. But Jameski did a lawsuit with the victim, right? A lawsuit of a rape allegation or something. It's like, you don't do lawsuits of that. You do like cases where there's an arrest, right? Not only that, he's mentioning bullet holes, him owning guns, and all this other shit. Again, if all of this was like semi-true, because there's also videos of, you know, Twomad holding BB guns and all that shit. So take the information lightly as you will. But or just watch the Turkey Tom video, like the end of it, and I will even give you a timestamp of what to watch, and it will just make sense. And again, I'm not saying Twomad was 100% innocent and all that stuff, because according to a lot of YouTubers, he was a piece of shit behind the scenes. Really hard to understand, and his drug habits were just worse, like very worse, and it just destroyed him as a person and his fucking mental health, which is really sad to say, because I used to I loved Twomad growing up. And it's kind of depressing that we lost an artist that was also good with, again, I'm just going to say possible false accusations, but I'm going to say false accusations because I got a feeling that it is. Like, seriously, do your research on this shit. And same thing for Twomad. When false accusations happen and all that stuff, like, you got fucking Twomad. You got Wifiskeleton, right? And let me explain real quick. I mean, Twomad, he's going through rape allegations and all this shit. He takes drugs to cope with it because he has no fucking friends in this scene, and he ODs, right? Same thing for Wifiskeleton. When he was 19 years old, there was accusations to his name by like 3 different girls, supposedly, that all just jumped him pretty much on this. Called him a predator and ran with it. And he kind of disappeared from, you know, the commentary scene. And YouTubers even believe, like his YouTube friends even believed that he was a predator. Or some kind of fucking predator, you know what I mean? And how did Wifiskeleton cope with that? Well, I believed it made him very obviously depressed. Not only that, he turned to drugs because, again, he's still to this day getting criticized of fucking allegations, right, that aren't proven, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you can show texts and dates and stuff, but it's like, you can easily go to, like, iMessage and fucking Photoshop shit, or just change shit and text real quick to make somebody look bad. And you can easily Photoshop a screenshot. It's not hard to do. I will even teach you how to do it right here, right now in this video. And nowadays, you can make up any fucking story that people will believe. You can probably feed AI right now, like, for an example, you can probably feed AI, hey, I'm a victim, and I'm accusing a guy of the worst thing fucking possible. And AI will probably write you the most realistic story of how it happened. You copy and paste that, post it on the internet, gets a lot of likes, a lot of attention, and then the other person doesn't have proof on their side, the person that's getting accused, because they don't know you at all. And it makes it hard for them to prove themselves because they never had contact with you. But they can't say that because, you know what I mean, or they just can't say that because fucking people will be like, oh yeah, right, you didn't contact him, my ass. And then you can probably fake screenshot. You're like, it's really, you can fake screenshots. It's fucking crazy. And then post it, right? Which makes the person more fucking guilty. So like I said, look at people at people like Wifiskeleton, Twomad, fucking, you remember the one guy that got accused on TikTok for being a predator? On Discord and stuff like that, and the guy took his own life. Because if you don't remember that, I remember that. It was a very fucked up situation. The dude had a life. The dude had a girlfriend and all that stuff, and he couldn't take the public shame or whatever. And some people just can't live with that kind of stipulation around their name. Like, some people can't live with allegations like that. So what do people do sometimes? Take their fucking life or take fucking drugs to cope with it so they won't have to think about that shit. Well, for someone that's innocent or whatever, they're coping with drugs or killing themselves, so it doesn't make them guilty. No, it doesn't make them guilty whatsoever, man. Imagine this. You're getting accused of the worst of the fucking worst, right? And then there's a fucking whole mob every single day, the moment you breathe, eat, shit, and everything, calling you this specific thing, right? It will mentally destroy you, and I'm not even going to be surprised if you try taking your own life. Seriously. Hopefully this video doesn't get age restricted, because holy fuck. But the reason why I'm so mad about this, or whatever, the reason why I'm so mad and passionate about this fucking topic in general, because shit like this is very fucking serious and stuff like that. And I realize that now. You know what I mean? I've been realizing that ever since the Twomads situation, or the pyrocynical and quiet situation. I was 16 when the pyrocynical situation was going around, and it turned out he was innocent, while a lot of YouTubers were saying the fucking opposite and making him look more fucking guilty than what he was. And then pyrocynical came out with a video and all that stuff, which debunked everything. And again, the reason why I get mad at this is because this is something you just don't play. And again, I realize that because when I was 16, man, I kind of contributed to this shit. You know what I mean? When I was 16, I contributed to going to someone's fucking comments and spamming the word pedo or pedophile if there was an accusation thrown their way without concrete evidence. And that what influence, that's what influence and all that stuff does to a person. Once something is called out, you're gonna believe the victim more than the fucking the person that's getting accused of this stuff, which again just bothers me a lot. And it bothers me that people like James Ski and the other accused, the people that accuse Wifiskeleton, and also the people that accuse of that one guy from actually taking his fucking life, those people bother me. The accusers, the people that accuse them of that, because you know why? They're living off lies. They're living off pure fucking lies just because they don't like the person, which makes me feel sick. It just makes me feel really fucking sick. So what can you take from this situation that I'm providing to you, to the viewer, right? This is me and you real quick. What am I providing to you? I am providing you false accusations, right? And if you still doubt if they're innocent, right? Possible, I guess, if you don't believe. But what I'm providing you is false accusations and all that stuff. And what I'm trying to say as well, it's not a game, and it's something that you shouldn't play, and it's something that you should take very seriously. I mean, again, look at the quiet situation, look at the pyrocynical situation, look at the fucking who else? Honestly, who else has been accused? Look at the Call Me Carson. I know that's a little bit more, controversial, but it's a weird situation. Look at Wi-Fi and look at Twomad. And I know this video has been a little bit about Twomad, I feel like, than actual, Wifiskeleton. But all I gotta say, man, is I'm getting to the conclusion part, or to the part where I'm pretty much over with this, because this situation / topic just really fucking bothers me. And I just wish for everyone around it just went better. But, anywho, man, rest in peace, Wifiskeleton. In contribute, I would play his music at the very end of the video, but I'm not trying to get copyright struck. So, RIP to my boy, Wifiskeleton. I hope you're generally in peace and happiness, to be honest with you. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so leave a like if you want. Leave a dislike. I don't really give a shit. Definitely leave a comment giving me feedback if, what I did wrong with this video, or if I could provided more on the Wifiskeleton situation. And if you guys really want me to do that, I can take a good depth into his career and all that stuff, and do a video on that separately. And make sure to share and do all that fun stuff. And if you like more videos like this, subscribe. But this video was pretty much just how I feel about this, and how I feel about just false accusations always hitting people like this, and they take their fucking life slowly due to this shit. So, yeah. Anyway, see ya.